Let's see. Which module should I do next? That looks interesting. Okay, let's go find one. Hello and welcome to Modular Curiosity. Hey folks, how you doing? I'm going to try a couple different things. First of all, I'm going to stop giving these episode and season IDs because it doesn't really matter. You can do these in almost any order. Also, I always say at the end of the video, hey folks, could you like and subscribe and click that bell if you want to see new videos? So I'm going to start saying at the beginning because it's kind of important. So please like and subscribe and click that bell if you want to get notified when I have new videos out. Like this one. Today we are looking at the Erica Synths Black Octosource. You folks know how much I like really cool LFOs. This is an insanely cool LFO. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe when I started looking into this how many things this could do. So hey, let me show you what we got with the Erica Synths Black Octosource. Okay folks, this is the Erica Synths Black Octosource. You know how much I like really cool LFOs. Well, this is an amazingly cool LFO. Check this out. You see how these are cycling around? This is not 4, but 8 phase shifted LFOs. But oh my gosh, there is so much more than that. For example, what do I mean by a phase shifted LFO? Okay, so if we take this output and look at what we're doing, we can see a sine wave. If we go all the way across, we'll see a second sine wave shifted exactly 180 degrees out of phase. See, so as much as the blue line goes up or down, the purple line goes exactly the opposite. What if we were 90 degrees out of phase? It would be following 90 degrees out of that circle. What if we were 45 degrees out of phase? And this means, let me move this over, that if I duplicate this and put it here and maybe duplicate that again, we have 8 LFOs, all of which are shifted by a certain degrees in phase, and I still haven't even done the last 2. Now, if that's all this did, that would be really cool. But as we know, with LFOs, we would really like to see waveforms other than just a sine wave. Well, check this out. What if we turn it up a little bit here? Okay, so if we're all the way over here, we get a sine wave. As we move this way, it starts to morph to a ramp. There we go. We'll slow down the time. You can see that it's more like a sawtooth wave. If we go a little further, it will morph to what's called the inverted absolute value of sine. Okay, so it's a sine wave. It's inverted, and basically every place that it would have crossed below the center line, it flips back up. So what we have is you can see how that's the inverted absolute value of a sine wave. The next one, triangle wave. So we still have all our standard waves for an LFO. The next one after triangle is a pulse wave. The next one after a pulse wave is the absolute value of sine. So remember the inverted absolute sine had these upside down U shapes? This one kind of makes more sense because basically as it would have gone below the zero line is the absolute value, mean always the positive version of whatever that value is. So you go bounce, bounce, bounce. The inverted absolute value, which was here, would basically be the bottom half of the sine wave flipped up. Let's see. There we go. So we have the bottom half of the sine wave flipped up into the positive range. We have the top half of the sine wave. There we go. Let me get it right on the dot so we can see it. Now, what's the next one? The next one is a sawtooth wave. And the next one is pretty darn cool. It is sample and hold. It's random voltages jumping all over the place. Now, of course, the rate is how fast that wave moves. So if we want a really fast sample and hold, we just turn the rate up. Well, you folks remember our sample and hold episode. What do we do with that? I think what we did is we took something like an oscillator and a filter, such as my favorite low-pass filter, the Volt Lateralis. Input. Oh, I love the fact that we can just drag things like that in version 1.0. This is so easy. Take the output, go to here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the output of that sample and hold, put it to our filter. And automatically we have the Emerson, Lake and Palmer "Welcome Back, My Friend" sound. But I'll tell you what if we took, say, 180 degrees out of phase and put it to the voltage per octave? Well, that's a pretty huge pitch variance. So let's go ahead and mellow it out by putting it through a dual attenuator and setting the range. Maybe I'd like to go a little higher. Maybe a little slower. Now I'll tell you what if we set the cutoff to a completely different mode? And check this out, single or multi. Okay, what multi means, oh yeah, I have a driver update. Great, thank you. Okay, check this out, single and multi. Single means, remember all those waveforms we just looked at? It means all 8 of these are the same waveform shifted by 45, 90, and so on all the way around. Multi means each output is going to have a different wave. So let's put a resonance here. You know, this needs a little reverb. Now, of course, in the base version of this, these phase shifts are 45, 90, and so on, all the way around. We could actually change that phase shift. So let's take, say, an attenuator, put it to phase shift CV, and shift it. In fact, what I think I'll do, I'll go to single, and let's put the filters 180 degrees out. But now I want to shift them through CV. So basically I want to push it, say, this way. And we can hear the filter is actually going full on a little earlier. Now if I pull it this way, it's going to go a little later. What if we gave them different waveforms? And we started shifting this. Hey, what if we took one of the outputs and shifted its own CV? Yeah, we don't need that guy anymore. I'm not using him. This is pretty amazing. This has a lot of cool functionality, and I haven't even gotten to the FMN. So what if we took this, we duplicated it, went to single, turned this up into almost audio range, and then took one of the outputs, put it to FMN, and then modified the FM level. I have no idea what's this is going to happen. I think that's a John Coltrane solo. Let's go back to basics here and just look at what is happening. Mute. Because this rate knob, okay. Let's come back to our sine wave so we can see something that we understand. And of course, rate makes the sine wave go faster, but what if we go left of 12 o'clock? Okay, let's try it this way. What does moving the rate to the left side of 12 o'clock do? Well, here we have a sawtooth wave going up. Let's move it to the other side. And you can see that what we're doing is we're inverting the waveform. So now it's jumping up, coming down. If we go to this side, it's starting low and going high. So see how we've inverted this waveform. Okay, so here's our, that's the absolute value of the sine. So it's the bottom half flipped up. And now we'll come to this side. And it's kind of the same. So it depends on the waveform. Some of the waveforms make a lot of sense. The sawtooth wave seems to make a lot of sense, that we could reverse it to this side than what it is on that side. So symmetrical waveforms, reversing them doesn't really make much of a difference. Non-symmetrical waveforms seems to make a good difference. It inverts them. Okay, let's do something else. What if I used these shifted outputs to, say, shift volumes on and off of different oscillators? Let's set that up. Okay, we're back, and what I have is a few things happening. First of all, I have several of these outputs going to dual attenuators so I can change how high and low and where in the range they're being shifted to. And they're running these VCAs, so I have 3 different drones coming through at 3 different volumes. Also, I have another black Octosource going through a dual attenuator being shifted, and so on. Let's see, where is it? Oh, here it is, this one. This one is running another sequence and shifting the 3 different filters of those 3 oscillators. So we get this wow wow, and we get all kinds of different little tones going, different cutoffs. But this one is cool. I've got one running much faster, and they're running these 2 even VCOs. And this one, basically I'm turning this LFO into a trigger. How am I doing that? I'm taking the LFO, I'm going to the trigger. The moment this trigger fires, it's going to rise for a certain amount of time and fall for a certain amount of time. Well, while it's rising, the rampage has this output which goes high as a trigger every time the rise function starts. That trigger is running the sequential switch. The sequential switch is taking notes from constants and outputting them to the even VCO. This one is also running a 4th down, 5 semitones down. So I can change the octaves here. Their VCAs are running from this black Octosource, and notice that they are shifted. Let's see, this one goes to there, this one is coming to here. Those are going through a delay, so I get these nice little slapback echoes. Maybe a little more feedback. And just for the heck of it, I took that same trigger and I decided I'm going to make a drum beat. So one of the things people are always asking on the VCV Rack Facebook page is, how do I set up synchronized LFOs? Here we have 8 synchronized LFOs, all phase shifted off of each other. Just what a cool module. Folks, that is the Erica Synths Black Octosource. Give it a shot, play with it, try it. 8 synchronized or unsynchronized LFOs. How much fun can you have with that? All right, as always, please like and subscribe. And once again, as always, stay curious. See you next time.